Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel here today. Today we're going to be reacting to episode 17 of Frieren Beyond Journey's End, continuing our Frieren Beyond Journey's End little adventure that we have going on. I'm really liking the pace that we're doing, kind of 2 on the week that I'm not doing a movie and 1 on the week that I am doing a movie. I think that's working really well. Yeah, kind of that one weekend off. It's actually really nice. But I guess it's only really because the movie's so long, so it's hard to do them week after week and to a good quality level. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling early. We should continue on with the thing. Frieren last week was very good. There was 2 very good episodes. Again, I edited that video. I came off as like a little bit of a curmudgeon. A little bit more negative than I wanted to. And I don't really think that way. They're 2 really good episodes still. It's, again, standards are really high, and I don't know if that's entirely fair. But as I've said that, I've got the YouTube comments up here, and we'll have a read. First comment here from Moe Moe Kyun. Sein and Gorilla are the type to kiss a homie goodnight. They most certainly are. They most certainly are. I might do another comment now too, which is on the similar subject. Where is it? Yeah, this one here. It is worth remembering that there are differences across cultures regarding how close or intimate men can act before what they're doing is perceived as romantic. Doesn't mean what Zion has isn't romantic, but what appears romantic can differ on your culture and upbringing. I'm kind of taking the piss. They're just kind of good friends in that kind of fantasy way. Like really, really good friends. That comment there was by Red Icicle Pop, and because we're on a roll, we'll continue with this one from Zael here. The comparison with Frodo and Sam in Lord of the Rings seems perfect. Since we know that Sam is straight since he got a wife, ha ha ha. Listen, the wife isn't really part of the content of the adventure, so listen, there's reasons why those theories exist, let's say that. Again, mostly I'm just taking the piss. I don't care what direction it goes, really. But for right now, I'm probably reading it as more platonic than romantic, I think. Scrolling back down here, we have a comment from Salo Carnal. I don't remember what to make of the Forgotten Heroes and being remembered, but there's something very interesting there. I hope we get lore drops on them in the future. Interesting. Okay, I don't know if you've read the manga or not and have some knowledge there, but like again, I'm only 2 episodes or so behind now, 2 or 3. So like I don't know what goes on with this. I would imagine they're not doing this for no reason. There was a reason Kraft was in the show. There's a reason that statue was in the show. It all involves seeing people from the past that may impact our adventure in various ways. Learning more about these 2 people could be interesting too. And we could see them whenever we get to our journey's end. And we're going beyond journey's end apparently as well. So yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting for sure. Next comment here from Airwave 2K2. Episode 15 contains Chapter 31, Confusion Flower, and Chapter 32, The Auden Family. Yeah, I guess you could argue that Frieren's kind of sense to want to kind of nope out of the situation would have come in clutch if Sein wasn't in the party, right? So like, she was like, this is fucked, we're gonna leave. And should probably reinforce that even more if she didn't know that they had a priest with them. I didn't bring this up last week, but it's probably something I agree with. The flower itself, a little bit plain in the details. Like, compare it to some of the other monster designs, even something as simple as the dragon, right? Or the one-off monster designs we've had for various things. For you know, the one that took on the form of a person and kind of lured you in. That was a cool monster. It's been a cutaway monsters when kind of Eisen's being powerful in the past and stuff. Just like these huge 4-legged beasts. Just getting like kind of like a flower. I don't know. It feels like an Elden Ring where you like enter a boss gate and then it's just a flower. It's like I don't know. I didn't buy this game to fight flowers is my point. It's cool. It's got some cool design quirks. I like the mirror element to it, and I think the overall point of the scene's quite good, but I think you can accomplish this with probably a stronger monster design. Yeah, the show is certainly stunning visually. Having this episode being overlength, I kind of get that Fern is showing the low running funds for travel right in front of Lord Auden. Manga's a little bit different, so maybe that scene plays out a little differently and they had to cut a few things for the anime. Maybe. I am unsure. For the Mutt self-insert of Stark as Sun scene, yep, that's what it is in as many words. Also, yeah, Mutt or Moot, I don't know, translated as courage, which is pretty on the nose too, when you consider that Stark means strong. Strong and courageous, like literally a stand-in. Yeah, this is an interesting perspective too. Stark upon being praised by Auden, kind of says, why don't you do that to your son? Kind of putting him in the spot of his brother, almost in a way, in our little metaphor. I like that too. It really shows that the balance between praise and not praising in parenting can hardly be done right. There's a really, really hard balance to kind of stand on there. This chapter gave me Disney fairy tale vibes, I certainly agree, up to and including the butler named Gable, which is translated as fork. Then you bring in your Beauty and the Beast stuff. It works for me for sure. On to episode 16, we have Grandfather Vol, or Old Man Vol as we're translating in our version, and the hero statues, which again are two pretty on the nose titles again based on the content. Yeah, it's a pretty great, melancholic, wholesome, well-rounded singular segment. I really enjoyed it. I like Frieren coming to the realization about what has happened to Old Man Vol, that he may not be, pretending anymore, put it that way. That's pretty tragic. It definitely got me, for sure. Yeah, the photo magic is interesting. Frieren seems to have not learnt it. There's something about Himmel's poses and a photographic memory, so maybe she doesn't need such a thing. But again, I would like some photos of the trip. That would be kind of neat. And yeah, Heiter gave Sein the name Goatee Priest, and it has stuck, unfortunately, for my boy Sein. Cool, then we can kind of group these two comments here together because they're kind of about the same thing. So we have Vasco Pires here. One thing to note is that the dance in the episode is not CG. No CG whatsoever. Totally hand-drawn. Not even any rotoscoping. The staff just had a video of real-life dances for reference. That was it. Just masterful work. And Jeff Liu here very similarly. FYI, from what I've read elsewhere, the animators didn't use CG in the dance scene. People on Discord have added me as well and shown me some stuff, and yeah, these guys are insane. I don't know. This seems fucked. I don't know how they did this. Also, yeah, so I looked again. It looks CG in some spots, but it doesn't in others. I just want to know the frame rate on it is my main thing. And I know frame rate isn't the correct term or whatever, but like how many frames of animation using per second on it? Put it that way. Just because it kind of stood out against everything else. And again, the models themselves looked 3D. I guess you have to get that three-dimensional stuff when they're kind of moving and rotating in that three-dimensional space, even if it is hand-drawn. Yeah, interesting. Okay. Yeah, again, I don't know much about animation. It's probably my weakest spot here. So, like, I don't know. Go off, I guess. And last comment here from Beatrice Oliveira. I mean, Himmel is basically Frieren's dead wife. If the genders were reversed, this would be Christopher Nolan movie, except Frieren's dead wife actually has a personality. Shots fired at Chris Nolan. This is in reference to Old Man Vol and, like, kind of the thing between him and his wife, and her husband, right? Giving her a lot of motivation to keep going, put it that way. So yeah, again, her and Vol are quite similar in that way. Kind of kindred spirits, probably a lot of what that scene kind of in the night looking at the stars is trying to get across. Now, I seem to remember last week I made like a joke about the next episode title. I believe it's Take Care, and I made a Drake joke. Yeah. So Take Care is our episode title. We're getting closer and closer to AEST, I believe is the name of the town. So maybe that's today. Maybe that's this week. I don't know. If not, it'll be next week. And yeah, we're just going to watch the one here today. We're going to keep it simple. But yeah, before we jump into any of that, some chill stuff. So if you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation. Comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back. And the Discord. Join Discord, love Discord, Discord. And yeah, we're jumping into episode 17 of Frieren Beyond Journey's End right now. Rightio, I have episode 17 of Frieren Beyond Journey's End up there ready to go. It seems I forgot a very important part of last week's episode, which is, I guess, the choice that we have between continuing on to AEST or going to Tur, and what's Sein going to do, right? Is he going to continue with this party that he's been with for a couple of episodes now, or is he going to go after his friend, right? Go after and look on the next best lead to go after his old flame, right? For lack of a better term. Again, I'm thinking a compromise is still on the cards here, but we'll see. Again, it's this episode's content based on this first frame I have here, which I guess you can't see the entirety of, but it's the picture locket of Sein and Guerrilla Warrior. Either way, I've rambled about that long enough. Subs please version, picture-in-picture in the description below. Did I say 24 minutes and 30 seconds? Now I have. And yeah, we're just going to give it a 3, 2, 1 and jump right in. Radio? 3, 2, 1, go. It's true. I remember there was a whole episode about it. Tura. Again, it is, but not overall. Can't you stop there and then go to the others? Anyway, we'll see. I'll stop rambling about it. I know. It's a metaphor. I also think that's a good idea. Thanks. No opening this episode? New opening this episode? What are you talking about? Why? Okay, sure. With a bit of tempo? I'm gonna need to find lyrics for this too. Who are all these people? Okay. Yeah, I know. What is it, bro? Oh, and I know who that is. Okay. It actually does sound like his music, actually. Nothing gets me hyped like a new opening, man. Oh, you know I'm gonna be picking this shit apart. Bro. Okay, sure. Take care. That's also something you say when somebody is leaving, so maybe, I mean, you could imply some things, but also I just saw Sein a bunch in that opening, so like, I don't know. What are you doing, Stark-kun? That's a bit weird. He's doing the sewing while, she's doing the heavy lifting. Warm her up. You warm her hands up. How about that? Oh, he knows what he's doing. Smooth. Bet she's warming up now, though. Stop being cute, you two. Anyway. Yeah, listen. Don't we have... Yeah, should we discuss this? The point of the episode? Yeah. There was a range near Orsurst, but I don't think we're close to it. Yeah, I was about to say. Most certainly is. Well, that's going to delay some stuff. Guess we're going to be here for about a month. Thanks, kind sir. Indeed. I agree. Is there? Whatever you say, Frieren. Oh, it's like you're going thrifting. Find some big haul or something. Very legendary indeed. Really? Yeah, kinda. Yeah. May give you a chance to change your mind. I don't know. Depends what your mind was. Trademark Frieren Beyond Journey's End musical montage. That reminds me of there was a shopkeeper with a very similar character design in the very first episode. I remember. Maybe this is just like kind of default old man wizard shopkeeper. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. There wasn't a lot of bonding there. Yeah, come have a drink. Explain. What are they arguing about? What happened? Yeah, they're arguing. Okay. I thought you were misconstruing something else. What did he do? Okay, you guys in agreement. That's a good spot to start. This feels like it's fake. Almost. Or maybe it isn't. Okay, talk to me. Yeah. I remember that. Wasn't too long ago. But where? From behind's a bit weird. Just go apologize. Thanks, Dad. I'd say she's being a bit pedantic. I think the from behind angle did a lot to put Stark in the wrong, I think. Yeah, maybe you thought you overreacted, maybe. Ooh. The other hand is big too. Yeah, that's completely fair. Well, could have been anyone. Also, I think we're meant to be demonstrating that Zion's a good mediator, which is true. A mature head. Also, that. He's me. Maybe the only reason he's gonna kind of stay is because he wants his ship to come to fruition. Maybe. Well, listen. Well, yeah, we had a whole episode about this. I remember. Are we going to go into it a little bit more? That could be cool. Exactly. Okay, pretty boy. How could I say no? I mean, yeah. He's having a dart. Fair enough. Yeah, I see. Maybe I see. Okay, I was going to say something else, but now he has even reason to do both. Maybe. Well, just because I understand what storytelling is, there's going to be some kind of closure here. Like there has to be, no matter what he chooses. Some kind of have your cake and eat it too situation is probably ideal. Well, there you go. Okay. He said it. He said the episode title. Okay, bye. Alright, let's keep going. Yeah, but I mean, I kind of don't believe you, is the thing. Most certainly is. Well, there you go. Okay. Bye, Zion. I guess that does make sense. But also, I don't believe you. We'll see. I fear this is not the last we've seen of Zion. Put it that way. Maybe there's another flower on the loose. I mean, Frieren would normally be asleep. I'm unsure about Fern. It's a little bit scary. Also, start cooking. That's a little bit scary. Okay, she's unwell. I agree. This is time to like shake her awake. What what did we tell you about hands on the face? It looks like she's keeping too warm almost. Kind of those cold sweats, you know? You know who'd like really be handy? Like some kind of priest. Hmm. Where? Well, she doesn't have a very high opinion of it. It kind of just looks like a fever, like some kind of common cold, right? Yeah. Bed rest and stuff normally goes fine. Like, I don't know. Bit of painkillers. Okay, we found shelter. Ugh. Okay. Thought that was someone else for a little bit. Hello, random lady. I'm very happy all like the randos in the show are so nice. Maybe Frieren's been here before. What's an icicle cherry blossom tree? I can also fly, which helps, I'm sure. Well, while I go and get the thing, maybe somebody should hold my hand for me. Shut up. Sometimes it's nice to be treated like a child, especially when you're sick. It's nice. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, depending on your definition, sure. I should we leave her alone? I guess there's the kind of lady there. Well, in your mind, everybody's a child. Sure. I don't know why we're feeding him that. I guess we're journeying to find this tree, right? Yeah, it's very pretty. It's probably a thumbnail, I'm going to be honest. I feel like I've seen this tree somewhere before too. I don't know where. Whoa. Because she likes it. That little sound effect on the earring jingle was really good. Yeah, how would Eisen deal with sickness? Oh, that too, yeah. Yes, some people do. What is this? Ugh. But yeah, okay, I understand why Frieren does it now. Most episodes, it's because Himmel did it. Frieren, why do you do these things? Himmel did it. Like what I was saying before, sometimes it's just nice. My man's trying to have like that rom-com scene right now, where you visit the character when they're sick and hand them some handouts from school or something. And they actually had a priest with them, which helped. You shouldn't know that. I know that, but you shouldn't know that. Okay, but I'd prefer Fern. There's some weird looking mushrooms too. Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't drink any of that. Pause. No, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm just gonna do what I want. We had a whole scene about it. It was 2 minutes ago. Okay, thank you, lady that had like 4 lines. I mean, she was. AEST. Get me to the city, baby. I'm thinking that's what. Very similar song, different visuals? Sure. I think we saw a city at the end of the opening. I'm wondering if that's our city, the city in question. Okay, little girl, red ribbon. Oh, is she bleeding out of her ears? That's very pretty. This arrangement's cool too. And there comes in the strings. Okay. Yeah, number of different art styles we're using here for the CD. Kind of this like this real tactile feel to it. Reminds me a lot of Monogatari in a lot of ways. Which I mean is only a compliment. Especially Bake, where they were doing a lot of that stuff very early in the show. Oh, she turned into a butterfly and turned into herself? Okay. Thank you, Fern. I want this to say, like, we're in the city. That'll work. Alright, it seems like next episode we're finally getting my predicted episode gimmick, which is our exam, right? The first class mage exam, where I predict Frieren to just stomp all the competition. But either way, we'll go back through that episode a little bit more. It was fairly low key though, so don't know how much I'll have to say. So, episode 17 in the bag. Quite good. I enjoyed myself. I felt like I was riffing a lot that episode. I felt like it made me very conversational, or maybe the coffee that's just starting to kick in. I don't know. One of the two. But yeah, definitely an episode of two halves. Like the first half obviously focused on this plot important Sein storyline, and then we have a more conventional slice of lifey Fern is sick type story. I thought that would connect the hand touching, cold hand on face thing to this in a little bit more detail, but I guess it's more of a like kind of overall theme of the episode, maybe a motif, right? Kind of this touch between two people and it being cold and unexpected, but sometimes being really warm and lovely and stuff, and how that links into traveling together versus traveling in a group and all that other stuff, right? Even these two here right now, they're kind of touching a little bit, sure. I think the most concrete takeaway is definitely the science stuff. As I said in the episode, I don't think that this is the end for this character. I believe he will be back at some point again within the next few episodes. I'm going to even say that, right? By that I mean probably before this season or whatever structure we're going with here is over. I forget how many episodes this is going to be, but I believe 28 or something like that, maybe? Something like that. Like more than 24 is my point. Hence why we've kind of got that second opening very late as well, which I will have a good look at. Very, very much looking forward to doing so. I'll also find lyrics somewhere, I'm sure. But yeah, like, it surprised me in the moment that he didn't come running back after walking along alone, and we're kind of on this bridge, and I'm surprised he didn't come sprinting back in a very cliche way with a big musical swell and that kind of thing. We're leaving him to his own devices for a bit. We'll meet again. I'm sure of it. Maybe something like, okay, we're going to need another stakes raiser somewhere along the way here with this story. And again, I'll look at this opening again. But when all hope is seemingly fading into nothingness, maybe we'll look over to the hill and the light on the hill, and Sein will be standing there on his steed and come riding in and save the day. Something like that, maybe. I don't know. I get the feeling we'll see him again. But again, I've said that a number of times now. Episode itself was good. There was lots of Fern Stark ship stuff, which was good too. Frieren continues to lean on him a lot. Whenever Frieren, like, it's like, why do you do this, Frieren? Because Himmel did it to me. It seems, again, it's another connection between the two skits here too. But I think I should just press play. Again, we'll have a look at this intro. Actually, no, this intro is kind of like just repeating shit. Like, kind of Stark comes down in kind of a bit of a goofy way. Like, it's kind of stilted. And he says, hey, there's a cabin. And then we kind of just walk away. It's clearly like this is the end of last episode plus like 10 seconds. Cool, new opening time. I think before I have a look at any of the visuals here, I'll just get the lyrics up. I believe it's a song by N. Buna, who is a Vocaloid producer, I believe. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, okay, Japanese music producer and composer, Vocaloid music producer, guitarist and songwriter for the band Yorushka. I'm familiar with their music. It is quite good. There you go. That's my extent of my knowledge of this person. Let's find a name for this song and get some lyrics. Okay, seemingly the song itself is by Yorushka as well. I didn't really recognize the voice. Weird. Okay, it sounded a bit different, but sure. I'm in love with their music. Love it. So yeah, I'm very surprised I didn't recognize the voice initially. It's very much their kind of music too, like kind of longing and got a kind of like a drum beat, kind of like a high tempo thing going on. Yeah, it's cool. So here I have some lyrics. I would imagine that this is the chorus, but I'm gonna try and find the rest. All right, this is from a website called Lyrical Nonsense. I don't know if these lyrics are gonna be nonsense or not, but we'll give it a go. Again, I don't know how much of this is going to be like the full song, which I'm sure is longer than 1:30, but anyway, we'll just have a read, we'll see what we can see. Hang on, I could probably even frame this better. There you go, that's probably a little bit nicer. Like the wind, you close your eyes in the twilight, I wonder what you're thinking. It's maybe wondering what somebody's thinking as they're sleeping, what they're dreaming of, potentially. With your eyelids open, your eyes are like glass. There was a faint scent of clearing. Okay, like this kind of weather thing coming through with the twilight again, too. Clear up, O flowers, and bloom. Blossom for the sake of clearing. Even if the rain stops, it adorns you with clearing. Which is a little bit, Japaneseism. Not exactly translating correctly, but sure. But I mean, the flower thing with Frieren, that makes sense too, and continuing this weather motif, right? Clearing and rain and sun and stuff. The song is called Sunny after all. The sound that strikes the heart, O calm, We are the clearing wind. Go beyond those clouds, far, still far away. You, in fair weather, close your eyes to the blue. What is making you sad? With your eyelids open, your eyes are like glass. Now there's a little scent of rain. Cry, O sky, and weep, weep because of the rain. Even if the frequent rain above the clouds it's clearing, the sound of hitting the ground, oh resonate. We are the stormy spring crossing over that sea, far, still far away. Seems like a very general song with some weathery elements to it. Nothing really that specific in the same way that the kind of oh my god, Yoasobi song that was the first opening was more specific to the show. This one seems like it's you could apply to anything. It's a weather metaphor. They're very, very versatile. But yeah, we'll stop there. We've got another kind of stanza, I guess, here where another 4 things more and more about weather and stuff. I don't know, the storm is coming, but it'll break, it'll clear, it'll be sunny one day. All that kind of stuff. Now let's do the visuals. I think that'll be a little bit more fruitful. So we've got the butterfly motif coming through too because of the kind of hair ornament, right, that's on Fern at the moment. So flower and butterfly, butterfly pollinating a flower, flower be Frieren, Fern, again, it's making you bloom, making you better. It's good. If it wasn't clear enough for you, we then focus on the background here, and lo and behold, Frieren is there. Cool, so she gets up off the ground, meets with the crew. Sein is still there, for the record. We do a lot of like getting ready in the morning stuff, having breakfast. Sein is still there, by the way. And then, okay, who are these 2 freaks? You're showing a lot of skin for Frieren as a show. Yeah, I wasn't expecting a character in a midriff, put it that way. It's a very like winter coat type show. I don't know. But yeah, you 2 seem cute, sure. I'm imagining you 2 are citizens of Orsurst or something. This seems like some flashback stuff with Flam, sure. Kind of a bunch of birds, kind of like kind of shadowing onto Himmel's statue here as well. That's more Flam, is it? I'm unsure. And there's lots of flashes there, up to and including this, of a bunch of stuff, like a bunch of like corrupt organization type shit, some like religious element to it almost. Then we have 2 elf children, right? Okay, let's think about it. We've seen character that is elf that has long flowing hair, Frieren. We've also seen character that was in the first opening that had long flowing hair and was also an elf. Just saying. Think about it. And then, yeah, we kind of move into the pop-off stuff here. Yeah, these 2. Okay, alright. I've got a better idea about who you 2 are now. We're going to magic school. These 2 are going to be like magic school buddies or something. Okay, maybe Fern can make some friends. That'll be nice. And then, yeah, we're just kind of animating the shit out of it. You almost look like a teacher or something. Yeah, this is very like school uniform too. Okay, I think we're focusing on the city. We're focusing, there's going to be a magic school. We're going to learn more about magic. And I think a lot of these people are going to be involved. That's my broad prediction. And that may lead to some discoveries about Frieren's past as well. I'm just very excited that we get a bunch of new characters. Like, who the hell is this? Like, you look cool. I love the colors here. The kind of, the greenish hair with the purple eyes. Yeah, this almost seems like a duel or something between these 2. Like, okay, so some boy wizards too. And then you who are you? Who are you and who are you and why do I already care about you 2? Okay, sure. This looks like a character I've seen. You look like somebody. Is it that one character from Little Witch Academia? You look like her. That's a bit weird. Okay. This almost looks like a separate thing. This could be another small little vignette-y thing. Yeah, listen, I'm very aware of what I'm looking at here and that it's important, even if I can't talk to why yet. I don't know who you are, but you look pretty important, and then we feed off of you into Frieren. Like, you didn't look like Frieren, but you looked important to Frieren, because you look very... You're like a sibling? You're like a sister? Frieren's evil sister? Yo. And then we close off. Again, there's our picture of the city, right? I'm imagining this is Orsurst, and this is going to be our magic school. That would make sense to me. And in a very similar way to the first opening, we kind of contrast kind of the old crew here, with kind of this view of the new crew that we get right here, you know? No Sein. Interesting. Okay, cool. And yeah, ending on 2 staves there too, with the episode title Take Care. Yeah, I actually really like that opening. It's very different tonally from the first one. I like it when shows do this, right? Reminded me a lot of Jujutsu Kaisen this year, right? Where we had one opening that I liked a lot more, that was upbeat and had a happy song, and then one opening I didn't like quite as much, which was a little bit darker. So, okay, what are we trying to get across in this first segment, right? We're showing the conflict in Sein, right? It's really hard for him to leave this crew behind. He cares a lot about them, but at the end of the day, he has to chase after his dream still, right? I thought early on we were going to do the opposite, right? Where it's like, well, that was my old dream. Now I have a new dream, and it's to be whatever this is. But I would also argue that that's too premature to do something like that. So maybe they made the right choice? Again, I don't know. Again, as I've said, this is not the last we're seeing of this character. I say all this because the first portion here seems pretty ancillary in comparison. We're just kind of doing slice of life stuff and we get kind of snowed in. So Fern got groceries, Fern's hands are cold. Frieren checks Fern's hands are cold. Stark also wants to check, not knowing probably as much about this thing that's going on here. So held her hands. She's probably like, well, shit, this is awkward, I gotta do something, and now I'm gonna put my cold hand on your face, which is probably very warm because you've been inside, like, knitting instead of... Anyway, it was a bit weird. Either way, the freezing hand on face thing will be a setup for later, we'll talk about it then. It starts to snow, we're not going over any mountains, so we should be able to travel through this regardless, unless it's a serious blizzard. Cue the serious blizzard. Hardy, hardy, ha. We call it dramatic irony, folks. So, much like the mountain cabin, we're gonna have to stay here and wait out the cold, but at least there's, like, stuff here, bars and shops, and even this one magic shop that Frieren really wants to go to. I think she's got a very narrow view of what a good spell is. She likes it for its, like, novelty and utility. Like, where's the Marge meme where she's holding up the... Is it like a potato? She says, I just think they're neat. That's Frieren with random spells that don't matter. So she's entertained at least as well. So it's going to be a month here, but it's not a month in pure isolation. Yeah, again, very proud of her legendary cleaning spells. Even Fern is somewhat enraptured with it, even though they don't sound very grand to me. We call her a bit of a grandma for doing so. Now again, in the structure of the episode, I was thinking that this is the point over this month, right? Maybe this encompasses the whole episode, where he's going to discover that he's needed here, and he's formed genuine bonds here and all these kind of stuff, and that would force him to stay. In fact, the opposite happened, and we go through this musical montage here, right? So, first scene here, we're all saying grace and we're gonna eat. Cool. A priest is present, probably why we're all saying grace the way we are. Cool. These two are hanging out, that's kind of nifty, I like that. And then Frieren's often visited the mage guy, very cool. Zion's drinking with the guy that's letting them have the cabin too, which is nice. These two are hanging out again. They're inseparable, holy shit. Frieren gets covered in books, and Sein continues to drink. Did that demonstrate them building bonds at all? I mean... Two of them were building bonds, but nobody else, not Sein with anybody else for that matter, right? He was just doing his own thing. And yeah, I was going to make comment on it in the reaction, but before I could, the show just like lampshaded it, right? Didn't we just spend most of our time apart playing that whole musical montage just in reverse? Beautiful. Love that moment. That's probably a killer manga panel too, now that I'm thinking about it. That'd be really good. And then Frieren walks in. At first, I thought that this was a little plan that she had concocted with the other two to get Sein to stay. That didn't seem to be the case. I thought that she was acting really weird here, and I thought the other two were acting really weird, almost like stereotypical, and kind of out of character in a weird way. But no, it was just like a stupid argument instead of like a full-blown one like the other episode. This here demonstrates Zion's utility to the team. He's the adult, he's the emotional center, he doesn't let things get out of control, right? Despite, you know, it's ironic considering his, you know, hobbies, but he does feel like the one that's the best at giving advice, the most worldly, the most well-traveled, and we have that situation here. So Fern and Stark are arguing, and yeah, we need Sein here to mediate, right? Yeah, Frieren looks kind of weird here too, right? Like, is this a deficiency of hers? She doesn't know how to deal with this stuff and feels almost guilty asking Sein to do so? I don't know, it's a bit of a weird look. Either way, we do like any parent would and take one of them into the room and start discussing it, right? And we're going to break down this one the same way we broke down the birthday one from a couple of weeks ago, right? Where who's in the wrong, who's in the right, and how can we compromise this? We're basically going to do Zion's job as well. So, remember when, like, there was the hand on the face earlier in the episode? Stark thought that he would repay the favor, right? I've got cold hands right now, she's been inside, I'm gonna scare her, put my cold hands on her face, or something like that, right? Now, what is different about these two scenarios? You've probably snuck up on her. You're approaching from behind. You've got one hand on her shoulder, which is a strong hand, because remember what your name means, and remember how you are, and that kind of stuff, right? As well as a hand on the face. And I don't want to say it, but man and woman, right? You're picking up what I'm putting down. I can completely understand why she would be scared here, right? And as a result, be really mad. Why did you think that that would be a funny thing to do? But also, I get Stark's side. She literally did the same thing to me not long ago, and I just kind of said, "Oh, that's cold." Why did she get all emotional about it? Again, as I've explained, there's a few key differences, but I like that we're able to compromise as well. And this is the good advice, right? Are you okay leaving things the way they are now? No, I'd like to make up with her. And yeah, Stark, unlike me, you're good of heart. If you want to make up, then you have to tell her that. Yeah, come on, boy, you gotta grow up and tell her how you feel. Even if how you feel right now is just wanting to apologize. In a very similar spot, we've got Fern here, right? Where we're explaining Stark feels bad about what he did. And Sein explains here, he's just a kid, he didn't know what he did was any wrong. And Fern knows that. I'm just being stubborn. Admittance of some amount of fault. Taking a step back, maybe. Feels good when characters can actually solve problems with each other. Again, it isn't Stark's fault. She just got a bit scared. Felt the arm on the shoulder. Felt the cold hand on the face. Was in a town that they're not familiar with. Was sitting alone in a room. I don't know. I can understand why she felt scared, but I can also understand Stark's perspective on it too. Yeah, be gentler. That's another element too, right? Like, this is more like a 10-year-old thing, right? But they don't understand that they have to be more gentle with different people. Where maybe Stark doesn't have that much experience with this kind of stuff and just was being rough. Like we was with the boys. Not that he had many boys to be rough with, but you know what I mean. And then smash cut to joke, which I like as well. Just start dating already. I agree. Yeah, we're definitely very self-aware about this relationship we're building, which is nice. But yeah, regardless, Frieren has inadequacies here as it pertains to argument solving and stuff, so she sincerely thanks Sein here. Frieren, you're the only one that praises me like I'm a kid, with all the head pats and stuff too, right? Bring up praise, right? Who's going to praise me for doing good things? Somebody like a Frieren can praise you now? And then yeah, we get that same question that we got from the Sein episode before. Like, why are you inviting me? Why do you care that much? Why did you stay in town that long? It's kind of getting over the aversion that she has for her own kind, right? It reminds her of when she refused to go on a similar adventure, right? And what Himmel did for her to facilitate her adventure that she actually ended up really enjoying. Again, the premise of the show. I think I just want to give you a reason. I give you a reason to want to travel, right? Even if that reason is the only reason that was the catalyst for you to get up and moving and then go on a different adventure, which is to find your guerrilla warrior little friend. So even if I didn't inspire you to join our journey, I've inspired you to journey, to adventure, and that's still powerful, that's still good. Himmel gave me the courage to travel and taught me how nice it was to travel with friends. And that last line we hear when Sein is kind of going off on his own way is traveling alone kind of sucks. It's pretty lonely. Again, maybe we'll rectify this at some point, I don't know. So then Sein goes out and has a smoke, and thinks on various scenes in the past that are pulling him in two different directions, right? We start with a lot of guerrilla warrior. It's kind of like scene supporting me following my childhood friend, scene supporting me following this current group. Like back and forth, back and forth. Like, again, he's being torn here. But ultimately we end on this, right? And that's probably what he ends up thinking, right? That's the way he ends up going with it. At the end of the day, he's got to be honest with himself and what he actually believes and what he's truly passionate about still. And yeah, in a very cordial way, we just kind of say, alright, see ya, and bye. So, like, we say like one matane, and then we just kind of go our separate way. We even talk about it here. That seems like a really short goodbye. But Sein is an adult. I'm sure he'll be fine. And then pan over to him, where he's lamenting the fact that it's so quiet when traveling alone. Despite that fact, he keeps on going, though. There's a lot in this segment as well about the like kind of dichotomy between a kid and an adult, and what constitutes an adult, and is it age or is it wisdom or anything else in between. Now that I'm thinking about it, this actually thematically links into the other segment quite well, which is about, hey, I may be close to being an adult, I may not be a kid anymore, but sometimes it's still nice to have people care after you. So we don't give Sein a very big goodbye, right? We just kind of leave him alone and we say one goodbye and he leaves, right? Maybe he would have liked to have us dote over him and say our big goodbyes and that kind of thing. Maybe that's the lesson we're trying to learn here. That definitely helps with the cohesion of the episode too. I really like that line. I enjoy that a lot. So I'm going to put this in the video now. He makes a very simultaneously adult and childish choice here. He's chasing after his childhood dream right now, but he's also doing it in a very adult way. There's not a lot of crying, there's not a lot of like showmanship to it. It's just kind of going on with it. It's very realistic. It's not very Frieren as a show as well. And it caught me by surprise. I was expecting him to go running back right now, but he most certainly doesn't. And we move on to the next segment. Again, so we're left without closure here, which left me with a weird taste with this segment right here, right? Initially, we start on something completely different. It's not about how much we miss Sein or anything. It's not about, like, well, kind of is. We're missing a priest. But, like, we hardly mention it. It's a very abrupt end. Again, adding to my theory, this character will be back in some form at some point in time. Either way, I should skip through a lot of this. The gimmick is that, you know, Frieren's sleeping in because she's Frieren, and Fern's sleeping in. That's weird. She's unwell. She's sick. Again, this is the anime thing, right? Where a common cold apparently is going to like end your life and you need to be like bedridden for multiple days and stuff. I don't know what kind of colds they're building over there, but like what's your problem? I have colds all the time and I still like record and go to work and stuff. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I'm a super spreader or something. But yeah, no, it's just like kind of that anime thing. I don't know. I've hardly ever been this sick. Like ever. Right? Genuinely bedridden, like feverish, sweating. It sucks, don't get me wrong, but not from a common cold. Frieren asks for 12 more hours sleep. At this point, I would start to shake her awake. We kind of bring back the hands-on-face thing here, though, which is kind of cute. Especially the face she makes in the voice work there. All pretty good. This is very cute, too. It's the best way to check temperature, forehead on forehead. It's also the best way to spread it if it's viral, but anyway, I digress. So now we really need a priest, but Sein left some notes on medicinal herbs. We're going to find a specific herb, a specific mushroom that we encounter later on. This is kind of like all of the group and their help here helps Fern to get better. Up to and including Sein. Even though he's not here, he's providing us with notes, which is nice. Apparently you can only cast a certain spell here if you have some holy scripture. Frieren cares so much about it that she's using it as a stand for the pot. Again, as we explained last episode, Frieren cares a lot more about the mechanics behind spells and understanding them. If it's just like kind of god magic and the goddess does it, then she's less interested, hence why she's using it as a pot stand. That and Frieren is kind of like eclectic and a little bit of a hoarder, let's be honest, so of course she would have something like that. So yeah, we read up on those herbs. Frieren remembers that her and Himmel and the gang went through here at one point and found some stuff, so they may go to the same place now and find the same stuff. They run into this one farmer along the way who agrees to let them stay, which is nice. Lots of nice people in this show, for sure. Hey, use my cabin. Hey, use this farmhouse that I have. Like, it's not very it's not very current day. I don't know many people that would do this kind of thing in the current day. Apparently this used to be an entire village, a prestigious village for that matter, that was visited by the hero. But that has since faded. I mean, it's been 30 years since Himmel's death. And yeah, we're gonna make our way to the icicle cherry blossom tree, holding Fern's hand the entire time. Something that she enjoys. Star queries this, why are you holding the hand? Because she's in pain. When Fern has a cold, holding her hand makes her feel better. I've known her since she was very small, and this has worked every time. But there's an element of this where you feel embarrassed around you, and would not like Frieren to be talking about this kind of babyish stuff while he's here. Right? That's what I was going to pick up on. I'm very happy that you picked up on it first. Smart boy. I like that. But again, being sick, I think that's a time to throw embarrassment out the window, at least in some respects, right? Let yourself be pampered. Let the people who care for you care for you. It feels nice. And that's the conclusion we finally come to in the episode. Frieren essentially says, fuck it, right? I don't care what you think. I'm going to do me, and I'm going to keep caring about you in the way I know that I can care about you. And I know that it works because Himmel did it on me before as well, and I really liked it. So, like, I'm just going to trust my gut here. Again, that's the general premise of the skit. So Frieren and Stark both go off to find this herb. Frieren starts talking about how Fern was back in the day and how she can't believe she's grown up so quickly, all that kind of mother talk. Kind of roles reversed here now. Frieren's actually finally being the mother in this relationship. I don't know where we feed this guy along the way, but he's pretty chill, so I'm happy we did so. And again, I'm sounding like a broken record here. Cue the Frieren musical montage in the middle of a segment. It's kind of astounding how similar all these segments are structurally. Like, actually. It's maybe even a criticism if you don't like the structure. I like the structure. And the music they play is really banging too, so... I don't know, keep it. I love it. So here is Icicle Cherry Blossom Tree. It looks very pretty, like all the backgrounds in the show do. It almost reminds me of the tree... Remember the tree that Vol was sitting under? Yeah, that tree. I don't know, something about it. Just kind of like an icy version, maybe. Apparently the flowers are poisonous, so we better not eat them. Also, don't feed them to that turtle. But then Stark brings up, you know, some plot stuff. Why'd you hold her hand? And again, the only reason that Frieren knows how to do something is because Himmel did it for her back in the day. You were moaning in your sleep, Frieren, so I decided to hold your hand. You're a weirdo, dog. But also, thanks. Thanks for the support. She thought it felt nice anyway, so she's continued to do it. Again, Stark's right here. People probably need emotional support. I always love to apply this whenever you're feeling embarrassed about anything, right? Think about if somebody did that to you, and how would you feel about that, right? So say that you were sick, and somebody came and gave you good care and stuff. Would that make you embarrassed? Would you think that was weird, or would you think that was really nice? Then you should probably do that if you thought it was really nice. Again, apply that to a lot of things and you'll get over a lot of hurdles in life. Also, you got to think about yourself as like not the main character. Nobody's always thinking about you. Most people are thinking about themselves. So do what you want, basically. If you want to support people, support them. There's some crucial context here that I may have glossed over. Himmel lost his mother when he was young, but she used to hold his hands like this. So this is something that was passed down from Mama, right? And we also learnt about a little bit of mother origin stuff. I wonder if we're going to dive into that even more later on. I don't know. What was Dad like? Where did you get this inspiration to be a hero and all that kind of stuff? Are we going to do a genuine Himmel origin? I don't know. It helps that he's very pretty. Like, if this pretty boy was sitting beside my bed and holding my hand, I would say, of course, sir, right away. If it was like some, like the human resources meme, right? If it was some, like, absolute freak, then I'm probably less inclined to be as accepting. But he's right. Not only children need emotional support. Sometimes other people do. Just hold of a hand, it's nice. So we get out of that flashback and back to current day. Fern was probably embarrassed because I was there. I'm surprised you had that much foresight. It's true though, but again, less for the romantic reasons and more just because there's a third party there overall. Nobody likes to be pampered when somebody's watching. It's true, if somebody was watching somebody holding my hand when I was sick, then that would make me feel not great either. I get what you're saying. And again, when he leaves the room later on, Fern actually really enjoys it. Either way, let's gather some mushrooms. They're also huge and weird looking. Looks like a fucking Pokemon or something. And then Frieren mixes it in her fucking witch's brew in her fucking cauldron, and then feeds her some medicine. I don't know, it was nice. It was nice cauldron stuff. Frieren continues to hold her hand. You know I'm not a child anymore. Of course I know. Continues to hold hand regardless. Smile on face. And nurses her all the way back to health. Hell yeah. And yeah, we're ready to adventure again. After Fern thanked us a second time, apparently. We're off to Orsurst, the city of magic. Now, I don't need to do lyrics here, but I want to shout out a few things. Just kind of the variety of art styles we use here is very cool. Starting off with this very, like, storybook style. It's almost reminds me of Winnie the Pooh or something like that. Through to here, the kind of the earring. I said it was blood, but the earring leaking out of this, right? Kind of her earring hitting this piece of metal, it kind of transforming into the flowery hair ornament that Fern uses, and continuing this kind of butterfly motif we have going on, along with this really crafty, almost stop motion style that we're using on all this stuff. Again, very much like this style, I said reminiscent of Monogatari, which is, again, only compliments. We can see in the background here, there's almost like a castle and a school and stuff, which is neat. And then I believe that this is Fern and Frieren, and she's got like butterfly wings and stuff. It's pretty slick. Yeah, it's kind of like a Fern Frieren thing, this ED, which I like. I like these two together. Especially helps with the content of the episode that we just saw as well, kind of this connection between the two. And then, yeah, next episode, we're finally in Magic School. I looked at the opening, so I saw a bunch of characters there, so hopefully they're all involved and stuff, and it'll be all fun. I hope so. So yeah, episode 17. Episode 17 was good. I enjoyed it. I'm very, very much looking forward to what's next, though, based on that opening. I'm very excited for this show now. Not that I wasn't already, but you know what I mean. Continues to be great. There's lots of good stuff you could say about it, building upon foundations, great character stuff, characters that are mature enough to forgive each other. Pretty ambitious story decision with Sein as well. Again, even if I think he's going to come back, as I've said a number of times now. But yeah, we'll probably leave it there. But episode good. I agree with myself from the start of the video. Episode good. Frieren show good. Either way, some chill stuff here. So if you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation. Comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back. And the Discord. Join Discord, love Discord, Discord. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next week for more Frieren Beyond Journey's End. Thanks for watching today, and I'll catch you later. Cheerio, goodbye, everything else in between.